literally going by so freaking fast. And what is going on? Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing a super exciting review. I feel like I say that about everything that I review, but like I'm really, these little things were like smacking up against my arm and I'm like, what is that? I digress. Okay, this right here, this is what I'm reviewing. This is the new Naked, oh my gosh, I can't get it together today. I feel like, blah, I'm all over the place. Okay, this is the new Urban Decay Naked Heat palette. You guys know the whole beauty world is obsessed with these Naked palettes by Urban Decay. This is the 4th Naked palette that they've come out with. They've also come out with like Naked Basics, Naked Ultimate Basics, Naked Basics 2. But as far as like this style of Naked palette, this is the 4th one that they have come out with. They have the Naked Original, which is a warm toned palette. They have the Naked 2, which is a cool toned palette. They have the Naked 3, which is a rose gold palette. They have the Naked Smoky, which is clearly smoky colors. And then this is the Naked Heat, which is more of like a kind of, I want to call them orange tones. I mean, they're definitely warm, but they're like really, really warm. So these colors are like all the rage right now. Almost every palette you look at, this opens really strangely. That was really interesting. Okay. These colors are pretty much in every hot palette right now, so it doesn't surprise me that Urban Decay came out with one too. Look at that, there's matches on there. They're basically the color of like fire. So you have your fiery browns, your orangey tones, your orangey browns, your auburns, your just fall colors. I mean, I feel like this screams like summer and fall. And I already feel like it should be fall time. I know it's only like mid-July. Well, it's mid-July. No, it's the end of July. I don't even know what day it is. But it's not fall yet. I feel like it should be. So I'm going to kind of swatch these colors for you guys, tell you a little bit about the palette, and then I'm going to put some eye makeup on because I have naked eyes right now. Get it? Get it? Alright guys, so the palette itself is $52, or maybe it's $54. It's either $52 or $54. You can get it at any place that sells Urban Decay. I got mine at Sephora, I believe, and I've had it for a really long time and I haven't even swatched it yet. I'm so excited. The packaging is actually really luxurious. It's a lot better than some of the other Naked packages. So let me just show ya. I can't seem to find my Naked Smoky, but I want to say the Naked Smoky package is exactly like this. But here is Naked 1, which has like this velvet packaging. This is one of my favorite packages because you can kind of just like fold it back like that. There's that. And then the Naked 2, my Naked 2 is so dirty. It has like the black shattered in it, so it just gets like everywhere. But this one, as you can tell, like I struggle with opening it. Ugh, I really, really hate the design of this one. Yeah, that black is everywhere. So I'm not even gonna like show you. I'm just gonna set that right there and get a makeup wipe. I'd say my least favorite of all the Naked palettes is the Naked 2. I've thought about selling it multiple times, but part of me, like, I just can't get rid of it. And then the Naked 3 has the same packaging as the Naked 2, but it's a little bit easier to open. And so when they came out with the Naked Smoky, of course I dropped that on the floor, the Naked Smoky and now Naked Heat, they have this new package, which I really seem to like it. I think it works well. It's easy to open. It doesn't get dirty like the velvet one. And then of course you got your mirror, and this one came with a brush. All right, let's do a little bit of swatches here. You know what? I kind of want to take a photo of this before I start swatching it for my Instagram. Please hold. Okay, now that that's out of the way, let's begin. So I'm gonna swatch these and then I'll do a close-up. Ooh, super soft. Urban Decay powders are always really good powders, you guys. Like, I've never encountered a bad Urban Decay powder before. They're all just like really, really smooth. I think they're one of the first brands that I tried that like have had that consistent, like I've never had a bad one, you know what I mean? So this seems to be the same, very soft, very like buttery feeling. Okay guys, so here's all 12 colors swatched on my arm. As you can tell, they go from lightest to darkest, as do most Naked palettes, except for the Naked Smoky had like a weird layout. But anyways, it goes from lightest to darkest. So this first one right here is called Ounce, and it has like a little bit of a sheen to it. It's kind of like your sheeny brow bone highlight or inner corner highlight. Right next to it is very difficult to see, but it is a matte cream color called Chaser. This is one where I would probably want to layer up a little bit. I would probably use that as my all over lid base, but it is really, really pretty, or like a minimal day crease color. Next to it, this color is way more pigmented than I thought it was going to be. It doesn't look as pigmented in the pan, but when you swatch it, it's really, really pigmented. This is called Sauced. It's a matte kind of beigey color. This reminds me a lot of Buck in the original Naked palette. And next to it, we have the first color. Oh wait, nope. This is not the first color. I was gonna say the first shimmery one, but it's not. This is also a matte color. It's called Low Blow. This one I feel like was a little bit patchy. This is one swipe, and as you can see, it was just a little bit patchy. I did kind of blend it a little bit, but that one, yeah, it's a bit patchy, but it is really pigmented. Now we have the first kind of shimmery color. This one is called Lumbre, L-U-M-B-R-E, Lumbre. I'm not really sure if that's how you say it, but it is such a pretty color. It's like a reddish brown with a gold sheen to it. It's really, really pretty. There's a hint of sparkle, but not like chunky glitter. Next to it, we have another matte color. I love the amount of mattes in this palette. I love that. This one is called Me Devil, or He Devil? He Devil. I had to lift up the palette. It's called He Devil, and it's like a matte red brown. It's super pretty. Next to it is another kind of shimmery, sheeny color called Dirty Talk. This one is so pretty. It's like a coppery red with like the slightest bit of a sheen to it. It's really, really pretty. And then next to it is another kind of shimmery color. I love this one. I think this is almost I want to say this is my favorite in the palette. You could see how like richly pigmented it is, how good it's swatched. It's such a pretty color. It's called Scorched, and it's almost like I want to say there's a hint of purple in there, but there's not purple. It's like a brownish copper. It's like a different shade of the one next to it, but I just feel like it's so pretty. It's gonna look beautiful with brown eyes, with my brown eyes, and there is like a silver wash of sheen to it. These three colors over here, actually there's four right there, I was a little bit unimpressed with the pigmentation, especially these middle three right here. I feel like for dark colors, the pigmentation isn't great. I mean, you can definitely layer it up and make the best of it, but I was a little bit unimpressed. And these are all mattes, if I'm correct. Yeah, they're all mattes. So this one right here is called Cayenne, or is it Cheyenne? It's with a C. And it's like a kind of a mid-toned matte brown color. You can see where it isn't quite as pigmented as some of the other mattes. Next to it is the color En Fuego, which is kind of like a brownish purplish matte. Really, really pretty, but again, it's not as pigmented as I was hoping it was going to be. And then next to it we have Ashes, which is almost like a dusty, dark purple brown. I keep saying purple, but there really isn't purples. You guys can see though, but this one I was really unimpressed with the pigmentation. Really unimpressed with that one, but it would make a really good outer V color. And then this one down here called Ember has a bit of a sheen to it, and it's really super pretty. It's almost like a mid-tone sheen brown, and there is like a copper sheen to it. It's really, really pretty. So there's all the swatches. Again, I'm a little bit unimpressed with some of the pigmentation in these mattes down here, but other than that, they swatched really well. All right, let's zoom you guys in and start working on this eyeshadow color. So I'm gonna start with Chaser right here, which is that matte kind of creamy color. And I'm gonna put this all over my lid just as like a base color. I like to do this because I feel like when there's a little bit of powder on your lid, not only does it set like your eyeshadow primer if you use it, or concealer or whatever, so that it doesn't crease, but it also just helps the colors that you put on top of it blend together a little bit better. So that's what I'm doing. Okay, next I'm gonna go in with Sauced, which is right next to it, also a matte color. This is the one where I was saying I was really surprised with how dark this was. In the pan, it doesn't look that dark, but when you swatch it and you kind of put it on your eye, it's just a surprise. It's not bad, it's just surprising how pigmented it is. So be aware of that if you don't swatch your palette before you use it. Sometimes the shadows look different like swatched or in the pan than they do on your eyes. You know what I mean? So far, I will say I'm not having to dip into the pan multiple times. One swipe of the powders is plenty to get a really good like coat of color on my eyes. They're blending really well. I don't feel like I'm having to fuss with them or work with them too much, but we're only 2 colors deep, so. Okay, I feel like my camera is really low down, so I'm having to like this, so sorry if I look like I'm sitting weird, it's because I am. Next I'm gonna go into this Lumbre, I think is how you say it, and that's the one that has the really pretty gold sheen, so it's almost like a reddish brown, like a light red, almost rose gold brown with a golden sheen to it, and it's just calling my name, so I'm gonna use it. And I'm just using a flat shader brush to put that all over my lid. There's definitely like a rose gold, like reddish tint to it, as you can see. You can't really see the golden sheen too much on my eye, which is a little bit disappointing, but it's still a really pretty color. There is a teeny tiny bit of fallout with that color, not a whole lot, but I did want to bring awareness to the fact that there was a tiny bit of fallout. Okay, now I'm gonna go into this color Cayenne, I want to say is what it's called, or Cheyenne, Cayenne? I thought Cayenne, like cayenne pepper, was with a K, but I could be wrong. So this is a matte, kind of like an orangey reddish brown. And I'm gonna put this focusing mostly on the outer part of my crease, but I am gonna slightly drag it in just to kind of deepen things out a little bit, but really focusing like right here to kind of add a little bit of a cat eye effect with this look. I mean, it's definitely not a cat eye, but I just like putting the darker colors more focused on the outer part and then the lighter as they go in. That's kind of my jam, that's kind of my technique, so that's what I'm doing here. Next, I'm going in with a clean, fluffy blending brush and just kind of buffing everything out a little bit, making sure nothing looks too crazy, there's no harsh lines, kind of diffusing things, blowing them out. You know the drill. Okay, next I'm gonna dig into En Fuego right here, which is like the kind of burgundy matte red, burgundy matte brown red. And I'm just gonna dip this into a slightly smaller blending brush and kind of dot this right here on the outer V, just to even further deepen that up a little bit. Not too much, not too crazy, but I'm just gonna dot it right here. This is definitely one of the colors that I'm a bit unimpressed with in the palette. Like it doesn't really apply very well and it doesn't swatch really well. I am having to go back for multiple dips and really layer it up, which isn't a horrible thing. It's just a little bit abnormal for Urban Decay to have like a dud like that in their palette, you know? But if you have the time to layer and layer and keep going back, it's not a huge deal. It's just kind of like, oh wow, I've never experienced that before with Urban Decay. Going back to my blending brush, I'm just gonna blend everything out a little bit more. As far as fallout goes, it looks like the only color that gave me any kind of fallout was that Lumbre color. I feel like I'm saying that totally wrong. But anyways, so I want to use more colors. So you know what? I'm going to go in to Scorched, which is like such a pretty color. I love that. It's like probably the most glittery of the entire palette, but it has like a kind of coppery, brownish mixture of colors with a little bit of silver sparkle. I'm just gonna pat this like right here just because I want to see what it looks like. It's really pretty. Okay, now for lower lid, I'm gonna go back to Sauced, which is that matte brown color, like kind of lighter mid-toned matte brown color, and I'm gonna put this all on, there we go, my lower lid. Then going back to En Fuego, I'm going to use a kind of a pointy little tiny blender brush. Yeah, something about this color. It's like, it's not even showing up on the brush really well. But I'm going to put that, I forgot to tell you what I was doing with it, right here on the lower outer part of my lower lash line. And I'm going to try to connect it up to the top. Okay, now I'm gonna do a brow bone highlight with a fluffy blender brush. So I'm gonna go into Ounce. There's a lot of kick up in this color. Not that it really matters, but it's just kind of a messy color, like compared to the other colors. It's a little powdery. And I'm gonna put this right on my brow bone to just kind of like blend everything together. There's a lot of fallout and kickback with this color. Luckily, it's such a light color that for me, it doesn't really matter. If it falls on my cheeks, you can't really see it, but this is a powdery color. Okay guys, so here's the finished shadow look before liner and lashes. I really like the way it looks. I will say for the most part, the colors I used are very blendable, very pretty. I did have a dud. I think En Fuego is a dud. It's a really pretty color, but it just didn't blend out very well. It wasn't very pigmented. And then Ounce is just super powdery, has a lot of kick up, but both of those aren't necessarily horrible things. Like, they're not gonna make me not like the palette. They're just kind of things to note. So yeah, I do feel like this is super fall. I feel like I can go jump in some leaves and carve some pumpkins. But I'm gonna go ahead and do liner and lashes and check back in with you guys. All right guys, so here's the final look with liner and lashes, and I think I'm in love with this palette. I think it's just, it's so perfectly fall that you can't go wrong with Urban Decay, honestly. I just keep looking at myself in the viewfinder and looking at myself in the mirror, and I think like that's such a cool look. I think it's, I mean, yeah, a lot of palettes nowadays have tones similar to this, but they don't have this kind of formula and these type of textures. And I mean, I haven't tried the Natasha Denona Sunset palette yet, which I think is pretty much the same as this except for the yellow in that one. But I feel like it's just the perfect combination of really pretty fall colors on top of a really good formula. And yeah, there was a couple of duds, but I don't know, you guys. I really like it. I think maybe it's just the whole vibe I got going on today. I made my lips a little bit darker, so I changed my lip color. I was wearing like a peachy nude before, but I switched it up and I put this MAC Lip Tensity and Smoked Almond on top of it to kind of deepen it up a little bit. And I kept my cheeks pretty neutral today. I used Tarte's Exposed, which is kind of like a nudish brown color. It's my favorite. You guys already know that. But I don't know. I just, with this color shirt, actually it's a dress, but with this color top, I'm feeling very fall, and I really like the way that this looks. So I do feel like you can get lots of different looks out of this. I'm really bummed about En Fuego because the more I look at it, like, it's a beautiful color. It's just not the best formula, but anyways, the more I look at it, I think it's a great combination of some rose golds, some really like reddish, brownish, orangish colors. There's a lot of mattes in this palette, which I'm really impressed with because some of the Urban Decay palettes only have like a couple of matte colors. But this has mostly mattes, which is really exciting. So I definitely recommend this. If you're a collector of makeup, you have to have this. I mean, let's face it. But if you're not a collector of makeup and you're just looking for a really good, like, warm toned fall palette, snatch this one up ASAP. So that is my final thoughts. I hope that you guys enjoyed this kind of chit-chatty tutorial. I'm sorry I'm a little bit all over the place. If you can't tell, in my nose I'm a little bit stuffy, and I think my allergies are finally kicking in, so my head is just like, blah. So I'm feeling a little bit kind of all over the place. So thank you for bearing with me. If there's any other palettes out there that you guys want me to test out, let me know. I know Tarte is coming out with one called the Tarte Toasted Palette, which is the same concept of like the orangey reddish browns. So I'm kind of wanting that, but then I'm like, do I need both of them? Should I do a comparison? Let me know, and I think that's it. I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.